This is it. The semi-finals of the Champions League are here. The four best sides left in the competition this season are Manchester City and Real Madrid and Inter Milan and AC Milan. Two huge ties on the cards. I mean, we have a repeat of last year's semi-final in one of them, and we've got Derby de Madalena in the other one. I mean, it's incredible. What a series of games. I cannot wait for this. As usual, I'm just going to give you guys my prediction for the tie as a whole, but we're going to go into more depth since there's only two ties. So I suppose we start primarily with the semi-final from last season. The first game is Real Madrid versus Manchester City, with the second leg being Manchester City versus Real Madrid. Look, massive game for both sides. I think the two favourites for now, at least. The only thing I would give for City in this thing, and it's probably in their favour, is that the second leg is back in Manchester. Obviously, last year we saw them beat Real Madrid 4-3 in the first leg in that crazy, epic game at the Etihad. It was incredible. The Benzema Panenka, the coolest penalty I've seen. It was phenomenal. Then went to the Bernabeu. Mahrez put them 1-0 up, only to lose 3-1 in the actual game to be knocked out on aggregate by 6 goals to 5. It was utterly incredible. I mean, honestly, Benzema was at his absolute best in that tie. Now, Real Madrid, they've been struggling a lot in the league this season. They're not going to win the La Liga title. That is going to go to their arch rivals, Barcelona. They did win the Copa del Rey, though, beating Osasuna 2-1 in the final, thanks to goals from Rodrigo. So they're coming into this game off the back of a win in a cup final, which is obviously going to be a massive boost for them. And to be honest, I think they have a really, really good chance. I honestly believe whoever wins this game or this tie is going to win the Champions League. I think they have a really, really strong chance. And it always seems that whenever City get to this stage of the competition, you know, the latter two stages we saw last year, they crumbled at the Bernabeu. The year before, they lost in the final to Chelsea. The year before that, they were beaten in Lyon in Lisbon when it was all the Champions League teams were in that bubble in Lisbon, which was a weird thing. But anyway, so yeah, and then on to Manchester City. Obviously, they're top of the league at the moment. They're in the FA Cup final. They've just beaten Leeds 2-1. Yeah, City also, they come into it on a great run of form, and the only difference between them this year compared to last year is the fact that they now have the world's best striker playing for them. So this should be an absolute cracker. I cannot wait to see how Militao and maybe Alaba or yeah, will they play Alaba at centre back? I'm not sure. Or Rudiger, maybe Rudiger. How they deal with no, Alaba will play left back, and then it'll be Rudiger and Militao and centre backs. I'm really interested to see how that back four deals with City's front three. You think they can go with Bernardo Silva, Haaland, Mahrez, Grealish? It's going to be incredible to see. It really is, and a proper spectacle. And to be honest with you, I think Real Madrid are just going to pip it, just because I have this feeling that Manchester City, there's always this moment around them at this sort of season where it comes to it and it's like, oh God, here we go. The big four, it's the huge games, and this is where it really starts to count. They really need to win these games, obviously, if they want to achieve their goals, which we all saw from Jack Grealish's Instagram photo posted on the Man City medical room, the Champions League and the Premier League, and they fully have the capabilities to do that. I mean, let's not forget, they're still in the hunt for the treble. They're in the FA Cup final, they're top of the league at the moment with a game in hand. They're in the Champions League semi-final. It's fully possible that they could equal that 99 treble winning side. So let's just see what happens. But I am going to say that Real Madrid are going to come through on top. I just have a feeling. And I'm hoping, from my point of view, that it does some damage to Man City. Maybe an injury, they get tired, because Arsenal need it now. And this is where I said it doesn't matter that Man City overtook. Well, it does matter because it's out of our hands. But this is where it could potentially come back into our hands. Manchester City become tired. They lose a few players, perhaps. Brentford, Brighton, Everton, they all take advantage of it. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I am going to go for the Real Madrid win though, but it's going to be incredibly high scoring. I am going to go with a 5-4 win for Real Madrid on aggregate. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. No, I'm going for 2-1 Real Madrid in the Bernabeu on Tuesday night. Benzema and Vinicius, and then Haaland to score. And then I'm going with 3-3 in Manchester. I have a feeling, mark my words, it's going to happen. Real Madrid 5-4, they will be in the final. The second game is the Derby de la Madalena, Inter versus AC Milan. Both legs being played at the San Siro, obviously, because they share the same stadium. this should be class. I mean, Inter, they came through against a very dogged Benfica side that had done so well to reach the quarterfinals of the competition. AC Milan, they saw off the eventual Scudetto champions, Napoli. Um, Look, I think realistically, both of these sides haven't had the season they've wanted to in the league. I mean, Inter, they're currently sitting in second, which is fair. I know, I don't think they are anymore. I think Lazio are now. Inter are currently sitting in third. I don't think AC Milan are even the top four. So this game is pivotal for both sides. To win the Champions League for both of these sides will be absolutely huge. Obviously, AC Milan, they lasted it in 2007 when they got revenge on Liverpool. Inter, they did it in 2010 when they beat Bayern under Mourinho at the Bernabeu. Look, it's a huge game. I'm looking forward to seeing, Tomori versus Lukaku, Liao versus Bastoni. Um, should be an incredible game. And look, these are two sides that know each other very well. They're arch rivals. They're literally intercity rivals. It's a derby, as I said, in a Champions League semi-final, the Derby della Madonnina. It's incredible. The San Siro is going to be on fire in this game. It'll be really interesting to see whether they split the stadium half and half, like they do for the Champions League final. You get half, or for all cup finals, you get half for one team, half for the other. I'll be really interested to see if they do that. I don't think so. I think the first game is actually AC Milan are the home team in the first game, so it might be majority AC Milan fans, and then you just make up for it with Inter fans being the majority when Inter are the recognised home team. So we'll have to see what happens. But as I said, this game is an absolute firecracker. And look, while I still think that the winner of Man City Real Madrid is going to win the Champions League, I wouldn't rule out the winner of this game as well because they'd show real character to get there. Just think if it's a Real Madrid AC Milan final, the two most successful sides in the history of this competition, that would be something else. But even Inter Man City, I reckon AC Milan and Inter Milan can both give Man City or Real Madrid a real fight, a run for their money. So we'll have to see what happens. But overall, I'm going to say history pips it. I'm going to say AC Milan are going to be playing in the Champions League final. They're going to win 3-2 on aggregate. I reckon it'll be 1-0 on Tuesday, 1-0, and then I reckon 2-1 AC Milan in the return leg. Sorry, 1-0 on Wednesday, and then 2-1 AC Milan in the return leg. We'll have to see what happens, but the Champions League is really coming to a climax now, guys. It's boiling up. It's brilliant. I cannot wait to see what happens. Make sure you keep an eye on it, and thank you very much for watching.